everybody. Welcome to your internet friends. This is going to be the start of our, I suppose you can say, cult series, because we're going to be doing a lot of these fucking videos. And today we are starting out with how the fuck do you pronounce this? Like, I know it's
Okay,
Shoko, but
well,
I
there's
know
the,
Shoko's the leader, but
there's the shitty new name the people use, which
that
is
nobody
Alice.
knows.
But we
No
will
one
be
cares.
talking about Japan's most dangerous export since radiation poisoning, Aum Shinrikyo.
Yeah, and just in case you guys still don't know who that is, subway attacks, Tokyo,
Yeah,
1995. There you go.
yes,
Now you're caught up.
they're the people who attacked the Tokyo subway and tried to overthrow the Japanese government.
Wasn't it twice? Two attacks.
Yeah, no, there was one there was one before Tokyo a year before.
Yes, the Matsumoto sarin attack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it said,
no.
yeah, it says the most so do.
Okay,
Yeah. And just so you guys know, we're going to be using the byte model here on this. So, of course, created by Stephen Hassan. Guy's great. Okay, and there's four layers, right? There's behavioral control, information control. Dan has done something funny and put thought control instead of thought. Give him a round of applause.
I'm funny, thank you. I'm hilarious.
Hello,
Wyoming Food Tradition. And then you've got emotional control.
now to put it simply, this this is Japan's Heaven's Gate, but just so much worse.
Yeah, I know a lot worse.
Okay.
I guess I'll just start out by reading some of the things they've done.
Yeah, I have
Obviously, you guys know about the two sarin attacks, but
yes.
what you guys don't know is about the 2019 Tokyo attack when they literally drove a car into downtown Tokyo and killed a lot of people. They kidnapped a guy, didn't they, Irish, and killed him with nerve agents.
Oh yeah, no, they once suspected a cult. Shoko Asahara, the leader of this cult, who I will be discussing in a minute, suspected a cult member of being a spy. So he had him killed with VX nerve gas.
Yeah,
Well, it was in toxin form. It was in liquid form, rather
it's
than.
still dangerous as all hell.
But also look at that. It says structure yoga meetings.
Dan, zoom in a little bit.
Fucking yoga meetings where they planned the assassination of judges, the murder of sheriffs,
And kids. Keep that in mind.
and they also
They've murdered kids.
when Shoko Asahara got imprisoned, they actually sent a mail bomb to the Tokyo governor. Luckily for him, but also unfortunately for her, it was actually his secretary that opened it, and she didn't die, but let's just put it this way: she's not taking many selfies anymore.
Yeah, no.
Yes, because
was in the hospital.
the most important thing after writing an event is to do a vain selfie. I knew you would say that, Irish, of course.
And
The
by
most
the way,
important thing.
just for those of you who aren't aware of how this man ended up dying, Japan ended up hanging him in 2018.
Yes, his trial took 8 years, and then he was just on death row for a long time.
Which
because
happens a lot, even here
because
in the US.
his daughter genuinely thought he was insane, so she kept trying to get his sentence overturned and just get him life in prison instead. But nope, he had the long drop and the sudden stop.
Yeah, no, Japan still does hangings, so fucking A, right? So Irish, you want to tell us a little bit more about this motherfucker and some of the shit he's done?
Okay, Don, if you could just bring a picture of Shoko up.
So everybody doesn't see Dan doing that shit. So you get to see my beautiful face. Here we go. This guy literally looks like fat Korean Jesus. Oh my god.
Yeah. Can you show the fat photos of him, because that's when he became famous.
That photo?
Okay, there you go. There, if you scroll down a little bit, there's a photo of him sitting there. Yeah. Shoko Asahara.
Fun fact: Shoko Asahara was blind.
Yes, legally. I'm not sure if he was full blind, or if he was just declared legally
He
blind.
was probably legally blind.
According to the Dankula video I saw on him, he actually got a lot of trouble because he used to bully people a lot while out of school for the blind.
Jeez, this is a blind bully. Just imagine
But
that.
but as Dankula said, he would basically convince people to follow him and then rob them. But that was just the blind leading the blind.
Nice pun.
But yes, Shoko Asahara, born Chizuo Matsumoto, was the cult leader and founder of the Doomsday cult. But is
By the way, you guys should know that we are going to butcher a lot of these Japanese names.
yes, I apologize. I'm not being racist. I just cannot pronounce Japanese names properly. He was how do I put it simply? He was Charles Manson times 1,000.
He was the Japanese version of Charles Manson.
Yeah, but far more successful and with far less personality.
And blind.
Yes, I'm blind. He started off as a Chinese traditional medicine man, doing acupuncture, I believe.
Yeah.
But what he built became the most notorious cult in Japanese history. Shoko Asahara just basically cobbled together the beliefs of Aum Shinrikyo from a whole bunch of things. He took things from
Buddhism,
Judaism, Islam, various forms of Christianity.
Hinduism, Taoism.
And also some of Isaac Asimov's science fiction novels. He just took things from that and fired them into his religion because crazy. How do I put this?
I don't know what you're talking about. That looks like the mug of a very sane human being.
Okay, so basically, Shoko
looks like Korean Santa Claus.
Shoko was that is pretty much what it looks like. It looks like Korean Santa Claus. Shoko believed he knew all these things because he was the Christ. He declared himself the Christ in his book, literally declaring myself the Christ.
Yeah, it makes sense because there's a village in Japan where obviously Jesus died, so probably he's inbred.
Yeah.
He's the inbred. Any of you guys watch the preachers? Watch a preacher? He's the
inbred.
Yeah,
no, I've seen that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's the inbred Japanese version of Jesus. If you follow the.
Yes,
so there we go. That's canon now. That's our head canon.
Shoko Asahara is Doofy or whatever his name is from Preacher.
Yeah, the Japanese version. So got to think of an anime name for him.
Like God.
Oh no! Speaking, we'll get to. He had his own anime, which we will get to later.
Yeah, nice.
But okay. So he used to. So he declared himself the Christ, and he believed that, and I'm going to read this verbatim. That he would be able to, he wanted to absorb the sins of the world. He would take the sins of the world upon himself and claim that he could transfer spiritual powers onto his followers. And he believed that he ultimately wanted to take away all their bad sins and bad deeds.
Which on the surface doesn't seem like a bad thing until you realize just how crazy this guy was.
Oh yeah, completely fucking crazy. The lights are on, no one's home, the hamster's dead. He believed that World War III would cause the end of the world, but not the entire end of the world, because apparently him and his followers would survive the end of the world, kind of like one of the endings of that one Assassin's Creed game where the world ends, and lead the survivors into a new harmonious future with the teachings of Aum Shinrikyo as at the center. Now, he believed that America would start World War III by attacking Japan first, and he
might have half of that right if it ever happens.
Okay. But he genuinely believed that it would be started by groups including. So here's who he blamed for because he didn't think it was just going to be America. He
his cabal. His cabal.
Yes, and all these crazy people talk about cabals. This is his cabal. The Jews, of course, it's not a conspiracy.
Shout out Ben Adical.
Yes, it's not a conspiracy without them. They're always involved for some reason. According to all the crazy people out there. The Dutch, evidently. The British royal family, no surprise there.
The Dutch are the most innocent, guilty people there are.
Well, when the Dutch were first one to discover a moment with Dutch, like the Dutch East Company, or wasn't Dutch merchants shut down Japan when they first opened to the West?
The Dutch
Oh, yeah,
East
yeah, that's
India
true.
Company.
So
Yeah, they
that's
were
why I was thinking maybe he got that idea was, the Dutch screwed us over. The Dutch merchants, when we first opened up, screwed us
He also-
over. Therefore, it's the
he also
Dutch
be-
again.
By
He
the
also
way,
be- he
that
also
follows under. By the way, sorry, Arch, but the giant cabal conspiracy follows under thought control. Just keep that in mind.
He also believed that the Freemasons, there's another group, and that are always been for his thing, and also rival Japanese religions. So literally just
Taoism,
like
Taoism.
Shintoism, Buddhism, and Christianity.
Question: what did he think of the triad?
I have no idea.
Sorry, can I clarify just because the Dutch East Company did have one of the first trading ports in
Yeah, they
Japan. So that's probably why he's like the Dutch.
Yes.
Doesn't-
No, he basically used a Buddhist concept called Bawa, in order to claim that by killing someone contrary to his group's aims, they were preventing them from accumulating bad karma, and of course saving them.
Sounds like something a famous German leader once said about a certain
Yep,
Hebrews.
Yep, it's exactly. Doesn't it sound exactly like that? No.
Badolf Gortler, something like that. I don't
Yes.
remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
No.
Angela Merkel. That's what. Is that what? That's good. I'm so glad we voted to leave. Oh God, I'm so happy we voted to leave now.
So,
Didn't realize Angela Merkel was saying that.
So the cult started off in literally his one-bedroom apartment in the Shibuya Ward of Tokyo. Started off as yoga and meditation, but
Hold on for a minute. Are you telling me this guy created one of the world's most dangerous cults in an apartment building?
in a one-bedroom apartment in the Shibuya Ward of Tokyo. Yeah.
That's great. I'm gonna try to create a cult out of my house now.
Well, listen, kids. If Bill Gates can start Microsoft in his garage, this guy can cause the world's, the scariest Japanese cult. He can do anything. He can do anything.
Exactly.
If Bill Gates can start Microsoft in his garage, and this guy can be the most infamous sort of cult leader in Japan, anything's possible. The more you know.
No, if you want to, as if their name wasn't already kind of stupid enough, because like Aum Shinrikyo means like universal supreme truth. Its original name was Umau Shinsen no Kai, which means Immortal Wizard Mountain Wizard Association.
That sounds like Merlin got drunk and decided to start a union.
That sounds like KKK inside language.
It sounds like a gay LARP society.
No. Just imagine Merlin, the magical wizard, getting drunk and then starting a workers' union for wizards.
The Immortal Mountain Wizard Association. No, it started in 1984.
We demand full pay breaks and full pay for our alchemy, or we will go on strike.
No more gold for you until we get our women.
Yes.
I mean, they've been on strike now for what, 900 years apparently?
Until we full pay.
That's you damn Americans' fault for burning the witches at Salem.
Yeah.
Technically, we were under your control, so.
No, the English, not me.
Irish slaveholders, you were just as bad as British empires anyway, so shut you up.
Celtic infighting.
Now that Taffy's done with his mad ramble,
ramble. This. I'm just pointing out that Irish rule.
Taffy, talk about this later.
I shall continue discussing this. Now, they gained members steadily through this fucking madman. Now, if they officially got recognized as a religious organization in 1989. Now, you'd expect a cult, especially a cult with such batshit beliefs, to attract the poor, the desperate, the mentally ill, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. Attracted considerable number of graduates from Japan's elite universities. I'm talking cardiologists, brain surgeons, journalists.
So the Scientology approach.
Military men, yes. It became dubbed as a religion for the elite, okay? Now, one of the ways that they recruited people was through anime.
Dan,
Uh,
do you want to pull up that video that we
Yeah,
have?
I'm sure will. Want me to go and play it?
Yeah,
Yes.
no, full screen it.
Yep.
Just make sure
Aum
your audio.
Shinrikyo anime
Okay.
recruitment video. It's gonna
Yeah,
be weird
no.
aspect ratio.
Okay,
I
okay,
apologize.
wait,
but
hold on. Yeah, so guys, what this is he literally made an anime to recruit people. When did he make this, Irish? Was it in the 80s?
It says that in the early days they basically public relations people created comics and animated cartoons that attempted to tie in its religious ideas to popular anime and manga themes, including space missions, powerful weapons, world conspiracies, and the quest for ultimate truth.
I'll be honest, man. I'm very happy that this came out like back then because it would have a lot more success today if they recruited with anime.
Oh yeah.
All right, Dan, go ahead. You know, it starts out like this, like the first 15 seconds. So
must be from an old VHS step or something.
yeah, VHS. And if you can't read Japanese, neither can we. So
Let's fighting love. I'm just waiting for that to play.
Oh yeah, the the South Park anime song.
Let's fight in love.
what the
Don't
fuck?
touch my ball. I can't do it. I can't sing it.
Oh, Dan, wait a minute. You didn't share audio.
Let's fight in love.
Hold on, Dan. Pause it for a second. Yeah, no, Dan did not share audio, so
I don't know how to go about that. I was just gonna say we yell at Ben to just put the video in.
no. Here,
No,
I can Ben. Just cut all this shit out right here. But then I can remove it, and then you can restart the stream. But there should be a button at the bottom right-hand corner that says share audio. Like there, remove the stream and like stop sharing your screen for a second. Okay, now reshare it, and there should be a little thing that says share audio.
yes, there should.
Oh, let's see here. There we go.
Okay, now share the screen again.
Just start over.
Yeah. All right, here we go. This is his recruitment anime.
Where he basically looks and acts like Japanese Jesus.
Yeah, it's great.
Give it like 15 seconds. It starts off like this.
Yeah. South Park anime, come on.
Princess Kitty.
Princess Kimmy Bundaru. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there's the music from the Dankula video. That's a very white looking.
Princess Canoe.
I'm sorry, that is a very white looking
Asian press.
yeah.
Looks like when Sarah Johansson played the woman ghost in the show.
This looks like hentai.
Oh, let me get the lube out.
Nope. Dan, wait, did I accidentally send you the wrong link?
No, but I'm just saying,
I don't know, man. It didn't bring up YouTube. It was like xxxsomething.com.
Oh,
Tentacle.
tentaclehentai.com.
But it does. That's what it reminds me of. They're very anglicized, these characters.
Dan, do you mind turning this up a bit? We can.
This is as high as I can get it.
Oh yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad quality audio.
Oh yeah, no, this was probably on a VHS tape
from the 80s. Oh, sweet.
What
They're above.
This looks like the Matrix on steroids.
It looks like the Man in Black is coming to take my soul.
It looks like the Matrix on defective steroids.
Yeah.
That's true.
The Matrix, if you tried to run it on an Atari.
Fun fact: Doom can actually be played on a pregnancy test.
Oh,
Yep.
that's true. Here he comes. There he is. The purple robe priest himself. Okay,
Yeah.
why is he again? Why is he white?
Hey, there's Shoko right there, guys.
Apparently preparing to perform the final blast move and absorbing the Dark Phoenix.
Jeez. Oh, of course. There it
And
is.
also going full Showdown Dark mode.
Is oh my god! Like you guys can't really hear this song in the background, but I can hear it very faintly. It's great. It fits this video.
Yes,
It sounds like it's him singing. Is that him
Dan,
singing?
it might be. You know, Dan, you're right. This actually does remind me of a certain person we know claiming they have their spiritual
Yep.
power. Why
Yeah, it
are
does
all these
remind me of
people
a certain
different
person.
kinds? There's not a single Japanese person in here. They're all vaguely white.
Well, I mean, we're gonna do a video on them soon.
Okay,
there's
that's the Buddha. Is he claiming he was the Buddha?
Apparently in the
But the
Himalayas.
Buddha didn't sit on a mountaintop. Siddhartha sat under a tree. Those are
forest,
all white
yeah.
people.
One of them has the same
There's a
mustache
Japanese.
as you,
There was
Irish.
one Asian person in there. Okay, also-
Irish, can I just say that one of those guys had the same mustache as you? Oh, Dan, I agree with what you wrote, by the way.
Taffy, I just saw your cult leader. Yeah, that's terrifying. Oh, it's actual Asian
Hey,
people.
Asians! Here we go. We're getting some
Hey,
more
it's Asian
diversity.
cult.
They didn't have the budget to travel to America to record white people.
Question: was this in his apartment?
Okay, there's a couple more. Why? Okay, I'm not joking. That guy looks like one of those guys back there was full on like Jackie Chan from the cartoon.
One of those guys had the same mustache as you.
Oh, I know. I hate that mustache. It's gotta go. Oh no, he's doing a white supremacist hand signal.
In the 80s, that meant something else.
Poggers, dude.
Yeah. That like, yeah, look at him.
There's an Indian guy.
Yeah, they're doing
Yep,
the look at my
Indian.
dick. They're doing the look at my dick symbol, also known as the OK sign. They seem to have teams. There seem
And,
to be
then an elementary school from like Missouri.
There was
Pause for
Aang,
2 seconds.
dude. Wait, there was Aang from Avatar.
Yeah.
I saw that.
But yeah, it seems that they have different. So it's like Aum Shinrikyo white, Aum Shinrikyo blue. Aum
Wait,
Shinrikyo
there's
red.
Irish. There's Irish with the
There
mustache.
was. I'm sorry. I just saw Saitama from One Punch Man.
This man truly was a visionary. Just not in the way he thought.
Ironically, being that visionary for a guy who can't see fuck all.
Exactly.
This actually does sound like him singing.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
This reminds me of like tuning into one of Dragon Lord's streams and hearing him like ramble music in German.
Oh my.
Why does he look? This guy looks like if Ulfric Stormcloak was Asian.
Does. Oh my god. Like, okay, those are children. Okay, this is not a
That's just yoga.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
nothing
that's
Welsh.
not yoga.
That may have been Welsh.
That's not yoga. That's a frog trying to give birth.
No,
that
that's
might
what
that might be an exorcism.
I was about to say that's what happens whenever you stand too close to strobe lights.
Yeah, no, but if you bounce like that with your knees locked, you're gonna pop your kneecaps off.
You know what? For these guys, it probably was for the better.
Yeah, I mean they couldn't walk. Okay, so he's everything, and now is that the Denmark flag that keeps flapping behind him?
I just looked it up. This is him singing.
Oh, sweet mother above.
Now he's got a radar sense.
Oh,
He has a lot of hair.
and I used to think Catholicism was insane.
Oh, it still is. Don't worry. We'll get to that.
I know this is why I journed. This is why. Okay, now she's just straight up praying, and now she's Muslim praying. Why are they okay? Oh God, those are those like really. Oh look, it's fucking it's Tarzan.
And there's
There's
Aang.
Aang,
There's
yep.
Aang, and Percy Jackson as well. And there's Saitama
Yep.
and Krillin. Actually, Krillin.
This guy really was a visionary. You know, people just didn't know about it. In anime, at least.
Did he really make a video where it was just these images flashing back and forth? Because the video I saw of him had him full on doing like flying out of an apartment while in meditation form.
No, that's in the 1 hour long. This is just a 10-minute version because I'm not spending an hour on this.
Oh, I could not. I'm surprised it hasn't gone full North Korea yet and shown. Look at him sitting upon his throne, being worshipped by throngs of, again, white people. Jesus Christ!
He looks like Korean Jesus. I'm sorry, he does.
You leave Korean Jesus alone, and you leave Vietnamese Jesus' name out of your mouth. This is Japanese Jesus. God damn it!
Why don't you make me?
Why are there magic symbols on that man's nipples?
Because he has no. That's how his nipples had to form, man. More white people. There's one Asian beside him on the right.
I think so, or it's just badly animated.
What the hell?
Oh, this is. I'm sorry, that was pagan men. That was. Oh yeah, this shows their like weird spiritual thing. So if you've ever seen any of their, that is Kali.
You sure that's not Vishnu?
No, it might be. I might be wrong. I think it might be. It might be Vishnu.
Because I know he had an obsession with Vishnu.
God, who didn't he rob? God, more white
His
people.
mother.
Him preparing to do a Hakai.
I'm assuming that's
Okay,
him in
showing
heaven.
heaven now. Will it be? Oh, is it the end? Seriously? Have we watched this?
Yeah, no. I only grabbed the 10-minute version because I'm not watching a fucking hour.
And there's his badly drawn version of the universe, in the Milky Way. Is he gonna part one?
Oh god. Okay, how many parts are there? Okay, Dan, you can go ahead and stop it there.
Yes.
I
If there is a Jesus, he wept. Now, ladies and gentlemen, and those of other gender identities, how many people would you say that this cult attracted?
Probably 10,000, somewhere around there.
Okay. There were, at the height of its power, so just before the Tokyo subway attack, there were 9,000 people in Japan alone in this cult, and internationally, meaning Russia and some Australians, because they actually opened a branch in Russia and met with like very high ranking. They met with like very very high ranking Russian government officials. Like I mean, like deputy chairman of the Communist Party, high ranking at the time.
I mean USSR, not Russia. The two.
Yes,
yeah, it's not the Russian Federation.
The USSR.
And nowadays they're believed to have around 1,800 people.
But they had 40,000 people in their cult at one time, all over the world. Now, ironically enough, something I just found out actually, Shoko Asahara owned land in Australia, where he actually used that land to test out the sarin gas on sheep before he used it in the Matsumoto and Tokyo attacks.
Taffy, I'm so sorry for your loss.
why does it all come back to whales?
Because sheep, my friend. Now, there's a couple of things I want to talk about first. First, I want to cover the Matsumoto sarin attack. And Nightmare, I think you should cover that one.
Wait, which one? The one on Tokyo?
The Matsumoto.
Oh, Dan, click on it. It should say it right there. There should be.
The Matsumoto sarin attack. Okay.
Yeah. So zoom in a little bit just so we can see.
I really can't zoom in much more.
Fuck it. I'll click it. Okay. Okay. So what happened? Now, keep in mind, this was a year before the fucking Tokyo attacks, right? So, hold on. Let me pull this shit up here. Since I can't really see Dan's, I'm having to pull it up on my own. And whoever says Wikipedia is not a good source, go fuck yourself. It's Wikipedia's 20th birthday.
It is indeed.
So everybody go say hey to Wikipedia. Okay. Yeah, so no, this happened, just so you guys know, this happened on June 27th, 1994 at 10:40 p.m., so almost 11 o'clock, right? So what ended up happening is, first off, of course, they used sarin, which if you know, is a poison. This killed 8 people, and it's believed to have injured an estimated 500. And apparently, their motive was to kill a bunch of judges who were presiding over the course over
land disputes.
Yeah. Well, it says criminal charges against Shoko himself. So. Yes. Shoko was basically trying to get rid of the people that can actually get him in actual trouble.
Well, it says right there, it says that a bunch of residents in some area of Tokyo were angry because basically, it was arguing residents because he wanted to plan a separate office and a factory in a seven sort of borough or area of Tokyo, whatever city in Tokyo. Obviously, residents probably looked him up and went, "No thanks, I don't really want him here." So he probably, bit like UK, probably went in planning permission and then got rejected and then applied again. And if I fuck it, I'm going to kill the councillors or whatever, open city councillors.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, he's like, you know what? It's open season on judges, essentially.
open season, all the judges and the councillors actually trying to oversee the land dispute. As
I don't think any of the judges actually died.
No, they didn't.
I know that there was a 23-year-old salaryman who died, and then there was a 29-year-old medical student. Those are the only two that I can find right offhand.
Actually, during this attack, people weren't woken because people started dying. It happened late at night, and
it happened at 10:40 p.m.
So people were woken by this awful smell of the sarin gas wafting through the neighborhood, and they all got out and charged towards the building because they automatically presumed it was coming from the Aum Shinrikyo building, and they actually managed to surround Shoko. In his, by the way, his actual his only real frivolity that he had. You know, he was worth a lot of money, and I'll be talking about that later when we talk.
Oh yeah.
All the heads of the cult basically still they lived like rather frugal lives, you know, compared to most cult leaders. They weren't very ostentatious. They didn't have lots of fancy stuff. The only thing he had was an armored Mercedes, which was actually given to him as a gift by a very wealthy cult member who thought he needed to be protected. And the people surrounded the Mercedes whenever he was trying to leave. He eventually did leave.
You're forgetting about one thing. You're forgetting about his attack helicopter.
Yes, we will talk about that later.
You forget the Japanese police got on like gas mask and riot gear because there's a bunch of people collapsing, and then all they know is a bunch of people collapsing, and then there's a bunch of angry mob. So the Japanese police, you've seen the Japanese police like fuck, you get a riot gear out just to protect him because mobs.
Yeah,
I seen some armed footage where it looks like they're about to tip over his actual arm. Say, okay, we can't break into your SUV, so we're going to tip over your SUV or whatever you had.
Which was probably weighed quite a lot because armored cars usually weigh a lot more than.
Yeah, I didn't say do it, but you clearly tell people were like going back and forth trying to push over the SUV.
They have to add more armored paneling. More paneling to the car.
So where's the riot police running out trying to stop it?
People were supposed to investigate this building after the attack.
Never did it.
Never. It happened.
Yeah, they did raid eventually. They did raid the building.
But they went there, and Aum Shinrikyo had cleared the building out weeks before the people got there. It's almost as if someone warned them.
Yep.
It's almost. They had people on the inside.
You're telling me Tokyo's police are corrupted? You're telling me you have a case of police being corrupt?
I'll just say this much. Me and Irish were discussing this earlier. The only thing that comes as close to what happened with him is whenever Scientology literally infiltrated the United States government.
And bullied the IRS to make him.
Yeah, exactly. This is the only thing that comes close.
They bullied the IRS.
Yeah, but
there's no other way to put it. They bullied IRS to give them tax exempt status.
Yeah, exactly. But Irish, do you want to go over what happened there?
Sorry. For legal reasons, allegedly.
So yes, the sarin attack happened, and I'm not joking. The amount of people who were injured,
500 plus.
Yes, one person, 5 people died.
8 people.
5 people were discovered in their apartments. 2 died in hospital, and an 8th died in a coma in 2008 after being in a coma for 14 years.
Jesus, who loves their family that much that they wouldn't just pull the plug?
Yeah, at that stage with sarin nerve damage, I would have pulled the plug long earlier. The day after the attack, they found dead fish in the ponds nearby. Dogs, birds, and caterpillars had all been found dead. Grass and trees had withered, and leaves had been discovered.
Been poisoned.
Yes. people anywhere near open windows or in air-conditioned rooms had been exposed to the gas. So basically, the investigation, right? The police received an anonymous tip implicating people in the attacks. The group weren't actually officially implicated until after the fucking Tokyo attack, because at that stage everyone knew it was everyone knew. Well, someone actually in the actual tip said Matsumoto was definitely an experiment of sorts. The result of this experiment in open space, 7 dead, over 200 injured. If sirens released in exposed space, say a crowded subway, it is easy to imagine a massive catastrophe. That's what the tip said, and yet the Tokyo attack still happened.
Yeah, no, they were warning them, 9 months in advance?
Yes, they believed that it was actually someone else. He was one of the survivors who his wife was a victim who was put in a coma because he had a lot of pesticide in his residence they stored. But it was proved that he didn't. People called him the media the poison gas man. People sent him hate mail. People sent death threats. People called legally
Was
challenged.
he just an exterminator?
No, he was just a dude. He was just a dude that had pesticide. I'm not sure what.
Hey, termite season's a bitch in Tokyo. You never know.
Okay. The fucking the thing is, like, the police not taking that information. Obviously, someone high up in the police must have been a member of the cult, but not taking that information and
Caused a lot of deaths.
caused a lot more death. Now, a lot of the cult kind of shit that they did was they used to go on TV and they used to broadcast weird, creepy dances of like kids dancing and like people dancing, and I can actually remember some of the lyrics. So it was Sanchi, 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 Asahara, Sanchi. I have no idea what that means, but it was just the same word over and over again. And then Asahara, and then it was a guy. I won't say the Japanese, but it was Asahara. There was a video of Asahara just going, "Do good deeds, do good deeds." This is the English version. Do good deeds, do good deeds, do good deeds. Do your meditation, do your meditation, do your meditation, do good deeds, do good. Basically, just repeating shit over and over and over again. Now, one of the things that a lot of things that happened before the
infamous Tokyo attack.
Also was quite shocking. They used to do these big public kind of experiments where they would, submerge themselves in really hot baths or bury themselves alive or, like do stuff to themselves that could be considered harmful.
Yep.
But then just show, oh look, the spiritual powers, I am unharmed.
Yeah, basically, and this falls into the bite model. Actually, this falls under emotional control because they manipulated people to believe that they could heal whatever ailments they had, whether they be physical or mental. And
Yes.
in actuality, what they were doing was essentially a magic trick. It was a fucking illusion.
Yes, but also what you don't know is that they tested these. They'd actually tested these experiments, these displays, in private before they did them in public. To show that they worked,
Shocking.
to like make sure that they could do them like successfully. But during a bunch of these test runs, do you know what happened?
People died.
A bunch of the cult members died. Do you know what the cult did?
It worked.
Magic trick.
Nope, they just secretly had them cremated and brushed them away.
So you know what they're doing with COVID people now? What? Oh, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No, we're not getting into that.
They basically secretly had them cremated. There was actually a anti-cult lawyer, and if you scroll down, Dan, you should be able to find it.
Is this the guy with the nerve gas?
No, this was a. If you 1 second, I'll find it. But basically, they went completely insane. there was a okay. Here we go. In 1989, there was a man called Chisumi Sakamoto. It's under incidents before 1985, John. So he was an anti-cult lawyer, and he basically
He was going after them.
Yeah, he was threatening a lawsuit against the cult. They were having negotiations with them. They broke down. In that same month, Sakamoto recorded an interview for a talk show with a Japanese TV station. He was supposed to be blurred out, like it was supposed to be like edited, so they blurred him out and muffled his voice.
Yeah, like the blurry face and the
Yes,
distorted voice.
Unbeknownst to Sakamoto, the network had the interview secretly shown to the group without notifying him.
It's almost like they had somebody on the network.
Was a cult anyway linked to Yakuza? Because Yakuza is heavily linked to all aspects of Japanese society. I'm just curious.
Very, very loosely.
I was curious if they were linked because there's a
they had a couple of overlapping members.
They had no deep connections, kind of like the way the Yakuza have a deep protection of Shintoism and Buddhism.
There was nothing like that. There were a couple instances, but not.
I was chatting because with reading Japan, especially after the part of civil society, probably not government anymore because now in the early 2000s to try to crack it down. But still to this day, Yakuza, if you want to get high up in anything,
the Yakuza is still around. Trust me, they actually had to rebrand as they're seen as an organization now in Japan.
Yeah, now they saw because it was it was late 90s, early 2000s, similar to what's the word now? Well, it's similar to when he took down the mafia in New York, there was a crackdown, and then he sort of softened the image and rebranded, as you said. But still, to this day, if you want to be, any industry in Japan, because you've got families as well, because I've been reading how the system works, it's very you have to know the right people. Most thing is in Japan, they don't care. I think it's benefit. In America, like no, this is freedom. This is liberty. With Japan, they're like, no, this is the way things work. Like they don't try to paint it up as anything else. They just go. This is how things work. End of.
And for those of you who don't know what the Yakuza are, it's the Japanese mafia.
And a good series of games. If
they are good. I love the Yakuza games.
You know those deep fake singing memes? That's from one of the Yakuza games.
Okay, so like I was saying about the good man, Mr. Sakamoto, his interview was shown to the cult, most likely, some suspect, by a cult member within the actual network.
These guys had their fingers in almost everything.
Oh, you name a pie, they had their finger in it.
Putang.
So, well, by the way, what they did showing that to the cult is also a breaking of the ethics of journalism.
Oh, of course.
Because it's breaking the
ethics of journalism. Stop harassing women. Sorry.
We're talking about a cult here that has done multiple attacks.
Not only did they not broadcast the actual interview, the following month, Sakamoto and his wife and child went missing.
Let's be honest, they probably killed them. Like,
we'll get to that later. Believe me. No, so a bunch of other stuff happened, but he, including in 1983, they actually sprayed a bunch of anthrax spores from the top of of their headquarters in Tokyo.
Yep.
Their plan failed. No infections, but lots of confront about bad odors.
And for those of you who don't know what happens when anthrax and humans mix, it's not good.
Okay, so here's by the way, as for their potential link with any criminal activities, they wanted to make in 1983. They attempted to manufacture 1,000 automatic rifles. Do you want to know how many they actually managed to manufacture?
50.
One.
What?
To give a credit, 3D printed technology wasn't,
Um,
wasn't 100% back then.
The Asahara also wanted the group to be self-sufficient in manufacturing AK-74s. That's the submachine conversion.
Yeah, an AK-47.
Yes, they
Automatic glitch.
only one working model was smuggled to Japan for them to study.
Wait, hold on, wait. Just on that, just imagine how much more shit they could have caused if they had 1,000 AK-74s. Like, these fuckers could have caused a lot more damage than they already did.
Now, one of the things that they did do, whenever they expanded into Russia, and that's how they got an expansion into Russia, and that's how they ended up with so many extra members, like the extra 30,000 members in Russia. And they actually bought a bunch of shit from the Russian army, and also had
the USS. No, they bought a bunch of used USSR stuff. Yeah,
Probably during the end of the Soviet Union. So
no. This was in '93, so the Soviet Union fell in like '91, '92.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Between
so they were buying like old Soviet military surplus. Yeah.
So but the people they bought them from were in fact the Russian army.
Oh yeah, like literally.
They were buying. They bought AK-47s, and
bought an attack helicopter.
And RPGs, and they also bought. I'm not sure if it was an attack helicopter, but they bought a Russian helicopter, a military class helicopter.
I was going to say it's well known. So between the collapse of the Soviet Union until recently, every single civil war insurgency in the world was fought
using Russian guns.
Using this leftover Soviet in a warehouse somewhere, which no one would notice missing. So no one won't notice is during a time of political and evil. No one won't notice 1,000 AK-47s disappearing up the back.
I mean, well, you're forgetting to happen that even today, technically, a lot of places like Sudan, South Sudan, they're using old Soviet AKs.
Yeah,
or they're using the really cheap, shitty RPGs of the Chinese.
And there's a reason for that. Because during the Cold War, the Soviets made so many fucking weapons.
Yeah. And then they were sold in the back door.
They thought they were going to be involved in a ground invasion of the US at some point.
Yeah, that's what they thought.
This is a triad, but off route. My uncle was British Army, right? And he was posted in West Germany for ages. And the little stories to tell me was no. That's for Air Force guy. You see, I got so many fucking military family. No, this is the uncle who became a train driver.
Okay.
Who anyway, it doesn't matter. So this bit of context, like how worried they were for Russian invasion. He's based in West Germany in Hamburg, and they said, "What do you do? What were you there for?" I said, "What was your purpose?" Our job was to hold off the Russians or the Soviets as long as we can until the Americans us nuke them. So what I mean, yeah, they gave us 48 hours max to survive a land war if Soviet tanks rolled over. So I went, "You're a meat puppet." Yeah, pretty much a meat shield. That's what we were. And that's what we were told. You're all meat shields.
Yeah, so you guys can see just how easily it could have been, especially in Japan, for them to gather old Soviet surplus because they were selling it to whoever would fucking buy.
Yeah, because there was no sort of.
There was very, very loose regulations.
No, that's not that. You had what's the name now? First Russian Federation president who's a drunk, who was an alcoholic, and who was constantly
what was his name?
Boris, what's his face?
Boris Yeltsin or something like that.
Well, this is before Putin, right? This is about right before.
Yeah. The first Russian president after the fall of the Soviet Union was a well-known drunk.
Oh yeah, he did that speech wasted, didn't he?
Yeah, he was absolute shit-faced, and most people think he was just a puppet for the oligarchs. So he was the front. We're democratic, while at the back door they were selling AK-47s to champion Yeltsin. I can remember Yeltsin. Well, that's cute. That there's been a president after Putin. There hasn't. Dmitry, whatever his name
was. You remember this guy that was always drunk?
Yeah, he was always shit-faced. Of course, Boris comes up.
Oh yeah, but okay.
Anyway, so imagine him drunk and leader of a cult just casually
yeah,
walking
no,
out
they're
with
just
bags.
talking to each other, right?
No, him. He's busy doing speeches. No. We watched your AK-47s. We swear while the Japanese cult members are walking in the background with a bunch of boxes of AK-47s. I assure you, we are making sure our surplus is fine. I'm not
Meanwhile,
drunk.
he's
I
telling
swear.
it to some Japanese cults.
Yeah, and this in the background, saying, "Well, cheers for 2-for-1 deal, mate." Shush. Shush.
Shut up, Boris! Did you not know that was supposed to be on the wraps? God damn it! Just
Buy
mad.
5 Kalashnikov, get entire RPG arsenal for free.
And if you buy RPG, we'll give you a shitty old hand helicopter.
Yes. Okay. Now, basically, what happened was they bought these guns, they bought the RPGs, and they got these people to get special commando training by the Russians. They got a certain amount of people to get a special amount of commando training from the Russians for a secret purpose, which we will talk about in a bit whenever we get to their actual condemnation. Now, the worst thing that they ever did was this: the Tokyo subway siren attack, the worst act of the worst terrorist attack on Japanese soil since the incineration of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
No, it's America. That's not terrorism. That's it's fine with America. Does it?
Freedom bomb.
Freedom bomb. Yes, we prefer the term freedom bomb. Okay, on this channel, we prefer the term freedom and love. Will vaporize your bombs. That's
So
what
basically, this was them trying to jumpstart their doomsday prophecy themselves. They were going to they were going to try and plant false evidence and blame the attack on America, so that Japan who were very closely tied with America at this stage.
They still are to an extent.
Yes, and they basically would attack America. America would attack them. Russia would get involved. Yada yada yada.
You basically want to start World War III
Yes.
again. Yeah.
So essentially, what happened was, here's what happened. Okay, so the actual attack, they boarded. I think
Actually, I sent you a video of one of the survivors talking about. Yeah.
Is this him? Yes.
You know, like this could do us. This could do a lot more better. How long is it? 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes 21 seconds.
Yeah, no, that's it. This could do it a lot more justice than we ever could. So.
Yes, this is a little Vice documentary.
This is the line you were riding when the attacks happened?
Yes, when I was working for other agency on that morning, I was having a Nikkei newspaper here. I was leaning against something like here.
Okay.
On the morning of March 20th, 1995, Atsushi Sakahara was riding the subway to work.
And then train is coming, okay? Then at the first car, then I found the newspaper wrapping the plastic bag.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it. I was about to step on the plastic
By
bag.
the way, that plastic bag, Irish, pause this for a second. That plastic bag is actually what held the siren. And Irish, you can unmute yourself whenever the video's not playing, by the way. You know what? I'll unmute you. It's fine.
Basically what happened was they each of them had 2 bags with 2 separate chemicals that were sealed, and they had very poison. They had not poison tips. That's the Russians. They had like sharp tipped umbrellas, so that when they stabbed
the bags, it would release the gas.
Yes, which the chemicals would mix together and spread the sarin gas, which would not just release into the air, it would contaminate everything it touched as well.
Was like this. Someone said, "Oh, he's in a coma." The guy was like shaking his body.
Sakahara didn't realize that the bag was full of sarin gas. 13 people died and thousands fell ill in Japan's worst terror attack since World War II. A doomsday cult called Aum Shinrikyo had placed the gas in 5 train cars during the morning rush hour. On Friday, 23 years after the attacks, Japan hanged the cult leader, Shoko Asahara, and 6
Pause
more
it.
followed.
Yeah, so there goes back to what we said about they hung his ass.
Only in 2018, though.
Yeah, I mean, but even then, like, Japan is one of very few modern countries where hanging is still an actual death penalty.
That's true. Usually it's just
It's lethal
firing,
injection.
firing squad, lethal injection, or in America, you also have the gas chamber in some states.
Yeah. But Irish, go ahead and mute yourself. They can't see you doing that.
You mute me, sure.
Well, I can't. Well, you can't unmute yourself. That's the issue.
Oh. I didn't realize I was muted.
Today, they were cremated, according to reports in local media.
There's a little intelligent Atsushi Sakahara thinking this penalty is good thing or not, right?
Still, because for a long time you've been saying that Asara Shoko needs to die.
Yes. If you ask me true honest feeling how I felt when I was informed, I think I was a little relieved.
Executions here are rare. Just 24 people were killed between 2012 and 2016. Japan hangs its prisoners and only reveals their deaths after the fact. The state appointed Yuji Ogawara to defend Asahara. He now heads a lawyers group at the Japan Federation of Bar Associations that advocates against the death penalty.
という、なんで今になって執行されたと思いますか？
来年その天皇が変わる、代が変わる、それのその平成の時代に起こった事件なんだから平成のうちにその死刑の執行をして幕引きを図ろうとかいうことが一つあるかもしれない。あと2020年、再来年には日本でオリンピック・パラリンピックが開催されるわけだから、オリンピックの直前にもしもこの7名に対する死刑の執行を行ってたら、国際社会が一体日本をどう見るんだ。
More than 80% of Japanese people support the death penalty, according to a 2015 government survey.
死刑の話なんですけれども、その日本人の意見を変えるには
情報をもっと国が積極的に公開すべきだと思います。何分間吊るされていたのか、どういうふうに苦しんだのか、その部分は黒塗りされていて公開されません。
Rika Matsumoto is Shoko Asahara's daughter. She was 12 when her father was arrested, and for most of her life,
Can we just talk about how, like, is this the girl from The Grudge? Because she looks exactly like the girl from The Grudge, and it's scaring me.
He just being racist, okay? You just think every Japanese.
It's also because she's really like. It's also just because of the weird proportions. Like everything looks like an adult except for her arms.
He just being racist, you are.
Nightmare. Tell me, like,
He's gone for food.
Oh yeah, he'll be back. But
No.
tell me though that like everything bar her like arm, like her arms and torso are fully proportionate, and she looks like she's really or no, her legs and torso, but then her arms look really small and her hair looks really big.
Not racist. But saying that, I remember my sister told me she went because a lot of Filipinos work in a hospital, and we invited to have you ever been to a Filipino Christmas party? Any Filipino party? They do like you a lot. They're deeply Catholic, but when they party, they're very.
Oh, you know, they drink.
They're deep. They come off really like sincere and we don't swear, we don't curse, or we're very deep Catholic. Like Christmas party was free. There's big buffet table. Everyone made their own thing. Bring your own beer.
Oh yeah,
because the cheapskates.
No, Filipinos are very all about the buffet style food. Now let's go back to the.
Anyway, so long story short, when my sister bumped into one of our mutual friends, he said, "Sorry, I thought it was you, but didn't recognize you. All look the same to me." And she responded, "So do you whiteys." So feelings mutual. With some races, like I can't tell the difference between white people. All these white people.
She's tried to stay anonymous, but a few years ago, she started appearing in the media and at public events to campaign for his retrial, saying that her father had never been given a fair one because he was mentally ill, and that turned the brunt of public anger about the sarin gas attacks toward her.
私が何かを発言したら、オウム真理教を擁護してるとか、
No, that's not one of the writers were Doctor.
いうふうに話がすり替わってしまって。
I've seen it before.
あ、すいません。すいません。
Why does this again? This is gonna sound bad, but that dude straight up looks like
Looks like an NPC fighting Yakuza.
Yeah, because he's bald. He's bald and he's wearing like John Lennon sunglasses and wearing camo.
Yeah, some faggo fighting Yakuza.
Yeah, and he has the back rolls on the back of the head too.
Yeah, the thing is, I actually like Yakuza, but the thing about Saber Yakuza, you ever played Persona?
No, I haven't.
It's one of those games. I think Japanese RPGs have got to be in the right mood for it.
I've heard that the new Yakuza games really take their combat over the top.
Oh, it's brilliant! Like
I know the older ones didn't used to do that.
No, I think it's gone over the top because the other one's quite dry, and then they realised that it's quite campy. So my argument is the game was really quite camp. It was a mixture of really serious crime drama with like, and I think they realised how campy came off to Western audiences or to some obviously to audiences. So then they decided, fuck it, we're gonna make the combat just as camp.
They're gonna go full Saints Row 3 with it.
No one go that far. I think there's probably this fancy term of it. Is it like fancy realism or whatever it's called? Like there's this fancy.
Have you ever noticed? This is the one thing I always notice. Maybe it's just a Japanese thing. A lot of people's initials seem to match. Like that. This guy's name is Satoshi Sato, which makes him seem like an Avatar character. So like like where they have like their first name almost sounds identical to their. Like it looks like their second name is in their first name.
I'm sure. That's like I said. I got friends, and I will dox it because he doesn't go by his name anymore. I'm not even really doxing him. Like you can't. Like thing he doesn't use his name in the West. Like,
okay. What's his name?
Auto Tau. So there's a flow to it. Auto Tau. But I'm fine saying it because he never uses that. Like only when he's in China, he uses it. Like so, he doesn't use it in the West at all.
Let's continue watching Japanese Kingpin here.
Yeah, yes, he's gonna go fight. There's a big screen. That's it. Now it's happening.
But so that dude, so what I heard that the bald dude, so because I saw this video in Dankula's video when he covered it, and so the bald dude appears to be criticizing the daughter. And I think that the skinny dude who jumped up is like a member of the old Aum Shinrikyo who full on was like, "What the fuck are you saying about him?" and like tried to jump up and get him.
So I thought he's white knight and he gets that pussy.
As she fought for her father's retrial, Matsumoto had also been trying to visit him in prison, even though she says that his health.
Wait there, pause. I've seen a vid. Have I seen it before? Oh yeah, gangbang Tokyo Underground. What?
Jesus. But also, why do these their prisons look like our prisons?
Depends where you go because a lot of
the prison in like the prisons in like London.
Yeah, the more modern prison was. I know the local prison to me is an old fucking castle. Which nice fact for you. I think some Easter Rising prisoners were kept. So it's a really old fucking Victorian building, which is just got some modern buildings attached. I think most prisons are like in UK. That's another thing I'm pissed off about. Ben's gonna hate me. What really annoys me is saying, "Oh, they look at London and go, oh, look, those fancy prisons." Whereas if you look at the rest of the prisons in the UK, they're old fucking Victorian prisons which have been just
left.
Just duct taped over. So when people are like,
some iron bars here and there.
Yeah, and no, this is not even people said, oh, like if you look at London, they do have like really nice, not nice, that's not the right word, but updated modern prisons and accommodation. Whereas you look at the fucking
the rest of them are built like gulags, but without any of the well designed stuff. They're just kind of ramshackled together badly.
Yeah, that's it. That's best we put. They're literally old buildings, and throughout the years, they can be bothered to actually sort out the foundations. And this is never things. That's why I wish in a lot of ways. I wish in some ways that the rest of Britain got bombed because the only reason London had a lot of upgrades because it got flattened. The same with Germany and Japan, because I think half of Tokyo was wooden, hence why Japan's
it got destroyed during the firebombings.
Yeah, so that's part of my wishes for the rest of Britain. Don't take me out of context, YouTube.
He wouldn't come out of the cell.
お疲れ様です。面会できました？
あ、できなかったです。
できなかったんですか？
はい。
どのような反応だったんですか？
今日はこれで松本さん面会来たって出てこないんです。
Well, they say, no, you can do sort of echo in the meet, you know, Mike.
聞いてないですよねって、直接聞いてないですよねって確認。
You can have it where the shares one video.
担当ではないのでって言ってそれ終わります。
で、今回で何、
今回で140回近いですね。
Matsumoto didn't know that this would be her last attempt to see her father. 24 hours later, she got notice that he'd been executed.
How big of a rope? How thick a rope had to be for his fat neck? What do you reckon? How many inches is a rope would have been? Because he'd only snapping when the lever was pulled. I say good 5 inches.
It's only one of those shipping ropes they use, you know.
They tried the first one, wouldn't fit. They went to Tokyo Harbour, went to one of the sailors. Oi, mate, you got a spare rope? Yeah, one for the anchor. That'll do. That's too much you got now to say. Just one of the prison guards shouting, "Ah, shit, these ropes not big enough. Let's go to the harbour."
No, yeah, I do. From what I saw, from what like they show the execution chamber and everything, I don't think they hang them properly. It looks like they basically.
I choke him to death. They don't break the neck.
Yeah, they made him suffocate.
Yeah, so it looks like a lynching hanging rather than a hanging, which is barbaric because you shouldn't do that. The whole point of the hanging is to.
To be fair, though, if there ever was somebody that deserved it, probably this guy.
Yeah, but you shouldn't. But you
shouldn't. Guillotine. Gravity is equal to all classes.
But also, it's Japan. Like you'd think beheading would be like.
Yeah, when they dropped the guillotine.
No, they wouldn't even need a guillotine. Just get an odachi. It's a gar. If you get an odachi and you get something like I know Saudi Arabia does it in a really barbaric way with like their.
The sort of bent curved sword.
Yeah, it is designed for cutting off heads, but it's a one-handed sword and it's shit. If you get a guy with just an odachi and a block and just they'll be dead. That's the thing. Like
yeah, but I like the sentiment.
It might be brutal, but at least they'll be able to in Japan society is still quite a lot about honor, so at least they'll be able to do honor.
And by the way, we do not support the death penalty in most circumstances.
I'm just saying, I like the idea of guillotines. Just the whole idea of gravity treats everyone equal, no matter the background.
I think Robert. Oh no, isn't he dead? No, he is dead. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was going to say Robert Mugabe, but he's dead.
No. Do you want to go on to the bite? Do you want to go on to the bite model?
We will talk about their bite score in a second. But remember, folks, I sound like Jason there. Remember earlier.
Don't say my father's name.
Okay, I sound like Rev there. Remember earlier, ladies and gentlemen, and others, whenever I was talking about the fact that a lot of stuff was discovered about them after the Tokyo attack. So after the Tokyo attack. How many people was it that died again, Nightmare, in the Tokyo attack?
The Tokyo attack? Let me check. I know that in the first one there was 8.
Yeah,
in the Tokyo attack, there were 12.
Yes.
Wasn't the main problem a lot of people's lungs were fucked afterwards?
Yes.
So hold on.
6,500 people were injured.
No. Okay. So 12 dead and around 6,250.
Yes.
That includes one of the attacker, and there were 10.
Yes. The attackers had sarin antidote needles with them, by the way.
Well, one of them did, clearly.
One of them just didn't use it in time. So basically, after this attack, everyone knew it was them. So the police and the military went after them.
So did the Russians.
Yeah, the Russians didn't do it as bad until afterwards. But in Japan, the police and the military cracked down on them with the same level of fury, the way the U.S. federal government went after the Waco people, but worse. They arrested thousands, hundreds of cult members. They carted off the children. The children were wearing those stupid headgear things that the cult wore, because they believed that they could transmit the guru's brainwaves to them. At one point, when they were actually transporting a cult member to be fucking
Executed.
No, not even executed. When they were arresting cult member, a member of the public enraged by the cult's actions, and I'm stealing this from Dankula, but sorry, Marcus. Clearly, this guy was inspired by your boy Yamaguchi. He just fucking killed the cult member right there.
I'm not sorry for stealing Dankula. You can suck a horse's cock. Preferably mine.
He
To be fair, though, like, okay, we're talking about.
But he killed him right in front of the crowd and everything.
To be fair, that's what happened with Lee Harvey Oswald. He got killed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not uncommon.
Here's what happened. This is what they started to find. They raided all the cult's buildings, everything they owned. They raided it, right?
In Japan.
They found the treasure trove of all treasure troves. They found evidence that the cult had, was producing all these toxins. That Shoko himself had procured assets worth about $1 billion US.
That includes all the military stuff.
Yes. He also. They also found out that basically what happened. So they found out that guy I was talking about, Sakamoto, who got kidnapped.
They found out they killed him, didn't they?
Yes, they had kidnapped his wife, him and his child, and killed him. Disposed the bodies, and dumped them. Aum constantly extorted money from their people. The cult assassinated several individuals,
including judges.
Tried to, but they killed the head of the Buddhist sect, Sakai Gakkai, and the Institute for Research in Human Happiness. Were both assassinated. A guy called Yoshinori Kobayashi. They tried to kill him. They also, I think they kidnapped a guy. At one point, he was the 69-year-old brother of a member of the cult. And
oh yeah.
What was it we discovered? So they kidnapped him, and a member of the cult that had escaped. They kidnapped him and murdered him. All those people that they did the public experiments with, they had died. Also, remember those cult commandos I told you about in the helicopter?
Yeah, they killed them too, didn't they?
No, they didn't kill them. The cult commandos in the helicopter were actually part of another plan. Two failed plans. They actually sprayed botulinum toxin around the Japanese Imperial Palace in an attempt to kill the royal family, which failed. But one of their plans was to have these cult commandos parachute in from this attack helicopter into the grounds of the Japanese Imperial Royal Palace with
kill
their
the emperor
and their RPGs and kill the emperor and overthrow Japan. So basically,
a coup attempt.
A full-blown coup attempt. Because once someone is declared emperor, because they still have a warrior culture and honor culture. If they break in, if someone manages to kill the emperor, they can be like, no, my country now.
Not anymore, because they have a prime minister now, and the emperor is a figurehead, just like it is in the UK. But
not entirely, because the emperor still actually has considerably more powers in Japan than the.
No. He's literally a flag. If you read the Constitution, if you read the Constitution, he says he's a flag. If you read it, they say closest, like he's actually got less. Yeah, has less powers than Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth. I think people swear to the Japanese Constitution, like in America.
So do you want to know what would happen if they actually were able to kill the emperor?
Nothing would happen. Like
the next mayor would step up,
Yeah.
and then the Japanese military would come in and kill them.
Because they mentioned in that little Vice video that we watched about how the emperor was stepping down. See, whenever it was announced that there was a new emperor, a lot of the old World War II and like Korean War vets.
Yeah, this was after Hiromoto died in
No,
'77.
No, I'm talking about the guy that stepped down recently, just after Shoko Asahara.
Oh yeah.
So whenever he stepped down and the new guy became emperor, a lot of old elder Japanese people literally like got out in front of the imperial palace and shouted "Banzai!" And basically, a lot of people were like Japanese empire again now. But
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. But
a lot of older folks basically wanted to return to. They didn't even want they just wanted Japan to become an empire again.
They don't learn it clearly. But okay, let's go to the byte score now. Actually,
you
I did all this. I don't need to share my screen because it's got a lot of shit with my master's degree I got on it too. Okay, but for the cults, whatever you want to call it. Irish, whatever you want to call it.
Aum Shinrikyo.
Aum Shinrikyo. Now, remember, we are doing this on a scale of 1 to 10. For behavioral control, it's a fucking 10. Because they turn normal people and they've convinced them to change their behavior and go completely psychotic.
Yes.
We didn't even get to the Tokyo car attack in 2019.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a cult whose founder is dead, who have been mostly reformed, but the offshoot, the original group still exists in a small form, and they are still trying to reclaim their power.
Yeah, like not to mention, they had everybody believing in the Doomsday Prophecy. I mean, they've killed who knows how many
hundreds
people.
probably.
Yeah, they've killed and they've injured thousands, maybe even tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands.
Now, so that's for the behavioral control. We gave them a 10. Information control, we gave them an 8, and here's why. Okay, the only thing they've really done is they infiltrated some things and they blackmailed. And they killed people. Well, Scientology did something very similar, only they didn't murder people. So I would give Scientology a 7 on that, a 6, excuse me. But with the added murder, you have to put it at 8. Because it's whatever. Thought control 10 straight up. Brainwashing. They had people. Shoko had people believing that he was the reincarnation of Jesus.
Yes,
the whole giant cabal conspiracy that people were believing. Straight up 10. Now emotional control. Once again, they had to worship him as a god. They had to abide by all of his exercises that he loved. But the thing that was most disturbing to me, which pissed me off the most, is how they convinced people that they could fix or heal their terminal mental or physical illnesses. So they got a 10 on that. So keep in mind, there's only 4 categories and it's 1 to 10. So the most they could have gotten was a 40. They got a 38.
Yeah, we give him a 38. I'm glad that Shoko Asahara isn't. I'm not glad that he was executed. I'm glad he's dead, though. I'm glad that his plot was overthrown because of this. Because he was basically making a full blown Hydra movement, and in less than 10 years, so from 1989 to 1995. He managed to infiltrate the military,
That's 6 years.
the media, the low-level government. They tried running. They had children. They had thousands of members. Like, imagine if he had expanded. Like, he was able to get 30,000 new members just from a minor expansion in Russia. Could you imagine if they hadn't done these terror attacks and they had just kept plotting and kept arming themselves?
I don't know. I think it would have. I don't know. I just think it would have been busted. Oh, most likely
they would have been busted, but I think it would have ended up being kind of one of those.
They would have had a lot more members because, and I brought this up earlier.
I basically think they would have committed like a 9/11 level of attack where they would have killed.
I don't know if they would have done that, but here's why I think they would have gotten a lot more members, and I brought this up as a joke earlier. What's more popular now that they use as a recruitment tool than it was back then?
Anime.
Exactly.
I think they would have had what's the word now? They would have had members outside of Japan, but people forget.
Oh yeah, like there were a couple members in the U.S., not a lot.
I'm talking about like within Japan, people don't realize of weeb culture and anime because of how socially conservative they are. is
I
from
know,
the
but I know, but I'm talking about like, yeah, like
outside.
exactly. Yeah, they would have had
Outside.
more outside.
Not in Japan itself, I reckon. I wouldn't have, because I said anime is very that
Also,
weeby culture is very frowned upon in Japan. Sorry, sorry, weebs, but
Just because
Japanese hate you, as
they
in
do.
mainstream Japanese culture despises you.
Yes.
Sorry.
Weebs are looked down upon. Japanese weebs, people from Japan who are weebs,
I
like
shut
that.
on even more. They shit.
Yeah, they would shit on even more. But I'm thinking more like if it had spread to like, if it got 30,000 members out of a socially conservative place like
Imagine if it would have been able to go into China or India.
America.
Yeah, or the United States.
If it got into the United States, a lot of people would have joined. A lot of crazy people would have joined. Like just like Scientology, it would have went full Scientology. They would have got scientists. They would have got. Imagine if they got military people from the US. They would have just got like. They were like, oh, we don't need AK-47s. Here's a bunch of M4A1s and fucking Stinger missiles.
Wait, I say it would have gone two ways. It would have gone like a lot of these because he saw more went to the sort of yoga and alternative medicine, so it would have gone two ways. He would have fizzled out, got busted, or he would become what the multi level marketing company. That's something I could, yeah, I could see him become one of them.
I think they would have ended up just like a shitty East Asian version of like I'd say the Taliban, but like far less successful.
I mean, I say that's one possible, but as I said,
I think they would have tried to seize control of an area, done it, and then Japan would have been like, you know, this isn't the desert, and then just eventually wiped them out.
That's what I'm saying. It's you forget. I know we mentioned Yakuza before. If they went maybe in the countryside, they could have got a few villages, but then they would have been the Japanese military.
A lot of Japan's population lives in Tokyo.
Yeah, urban centers, and who dominates urban urban centers? Yakuza and the business families who dominate.
They would not be in. They would not.
No, they would have fallen in line, or they would have been crushed. That would have been their options: fall in line, or get crushed. Whether that's politically or whether that's bribing police.
I don't think that Shogo was stupid enough to think he could take on the entire. Not only the Yakuza, but the Japanese military.
Japanese military, the clans, which still exist to some extent in Japan, which are like heavily linked to the Yakuza. I couldn't see him going. I couldn't see him.
Eventually, they would have fizzled out. But okay, so on our last word on this, because we've gone for way too fucking long.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, so overall, they get a score of 38 of 40, which, by God, that's a fucking lot. And we came to this agreement together. Taffy wouldn't get off his phone, so me and Irish came to the agreement. Anyways, next week we are going to have another one of these cult episodes. Or I guess the next episode you see after this. We don't know what that is yet. I mean,
Ben, don't add me out. Don't add me out, Ben. Just because you're a dirty weeb. Love you.
And who knows? We may have Taffy's sexy cult next.
Yes.
John Radio's cult.
My final word on Shoko Asahara and Shinrikyo is burn in hell, fat anime Jesus.
I hope Bianca rope was strong enough.
I'm just saying this much. The guy deserved to die, and I'm glad he's dead. And fuck him. All right, thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.